Swingity, 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 swingity. Looks like my model is running smoothly. So, I have a Blender model as my VTuber model. I figured this is as good as time of any to sort of go over the new model and all that stuff. I made a big ol' video as my first thing, go and be like, what, you may be asking, is the purpose of this video? Creating a VTuber that can't be streamed, can't be motion tracked well, and showing off that it's not real and how we're all living in the Matrix up to this point? Is this skeleton boy real? And am I the definition of skeleton boy, VTube, internet on the boy, a interwebs man dude? And if any of that made sense to you, congratulations. You're partially insane, because that was a cluster of words. Since it's Blender, I can kind of show you everything from overlays and stuff like that. So, well, bam. Bam, 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 ow. So, if some in the audience, or if there's, you know, anyone watching this that's wondering, you know, how do you get Blender to make a virtual skeleton boy thing work in here? As you can see, these are Blender bones as part of an armature. The armature is kind of set up in a way to where it's rocking on an axis. I think the Y axis, I think it's what's going on. So it's rocking on an axis, and as I sway back and forth, I got dampened tracks on the bones. So basically, it sort of mimics like a tail of sorts for each, or spine, and I guess in a sense, which is fitting because you know, whoop a doop a doop a doop. I am a skeleton man boy dude on the internet, running that joke to the ground. I'm a specialist. I'm a meme joke specialist. Or maybe I'm a specialist as far as ruining jokes. Who knows? Who's to say? So basically, every time I go swinging back and forth here, the little bones move back and forth. The arms are moving like tails, while the head's doing a reverse tail thing, you know, reverse gravity tail. If I swing one way, the head swings as if it was the end of a tail going backwards. We got dampened tracks to where the bones are at different weights. So basically, top arm bone is kind of has its own weight and, you know, weight distribution going on here as well as everything else. And same goes for the mouth, upper body, and all that stuff. Like the upper body is like two pieces, basically all connected by the bones, and each one has their own distribution, so that every time I sway one way, it sort of mimics the motion and bending of the human body, with some, you know, things that I'm having to kind of account for with being on Blender and kind of having the limitations of my knowledge on Blender at this point, which is, I mean, better than none, but at the same time, it's still fairly limited. Like, you're not going to see me designing 3D models anytime soon. But, I mean, hey, I got this thing running, so that's progress in itself. That's a milestone right there. Models in how many parts? So head, mouth, eyes, that's 3. Neck is 1 piece, that's 4. Body is 2, so that's 6 parts. The arms are 2 parts as well, so that's 8 parts. And then I think a lower body, which is everything below that. Which I think I could probably show you that actually if I switch over into the other view. So basically, you know, green screen under there. So if I want to put some, you know, green screen stuff, I gotta swing a swing a swing a swing a swing a swing a swing a, doing a little hula hoop and dance, grabbing at the worst angle of the model. But you know, this stream is as awkward as it's gonna get because I'm not exactly a great speaker by any means. Oop. Get that angle back going. Get that camera gap back up there. Being like old Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Over there! Basically move this around. That's really all it can really do, but honestly, for for what I need the model for, as far as doing, you know, casual movements and stuff like that to, you know, rhythmically go back and forth with my voice and everything like that, I can kind of, you know, I can work with that. And I got it to where whenever I go one way, model will slide back into place a little bit. Which, I mean, it might not be the most ideal and realistic thing as far as movements and stuff like that. But, I mean, for what it is, I mean, it, you know, it works. It's something. Realist version of this skeleton boy. Real time, real voice, real motions. And, you know, perfect outlet for, you know, just talking into a void here. Whether it be the mind void for me, or the YouTube void, you know, whatever gets, you know, whatever I want to call it and all that. I came out of a, you know, an idea landfill in a sense, physically. I mean, one of my things that I did that led me to this point here was walked around what looked like a giant, you know, what would you call it? Not a crap hole, but landfill. I just said that a second ago. Darn it. I'm forgetting words. Skeleton Boy came out of a landfill of ideas that, you know, left behind to the sands of time. And I was just like, nope, not gonna do that. So I, you know, grabbed a bookcase and was like, Wii. What kind of Wii? Not a Wii. Not a Wii U, not a Nintendo Switch that works like a Wii, but you know, fly up in the air and went Wii. And basically ended up here. And using whatever I can find around my environment to talk about really cool shiznits. Oop, le model. They're moving back and forth, and then going to This is literally like the perfect look and appearance for, and you know, movements for, like, if I wanted to do, like, you know, a dance stream, you know, like put on some music and go Alright guys, that's it for me. Subscribe if you want to stay tuned for what I got in the pipeline. I don't know when I'm going to post next, but if you like these sorts of videos, stick around. The door is always open at the Doom Room Bebop. Take care guys.